Winter has arrived, bringing with it the chilling embrace of the cold. As the temperature drops, a wondrous transformation takes place across the landscape, particularly the waterscape. Have you ever pondered the remarkable process of ice formation on bodies of water and its ability to support immense weight? The explanation is surprisingly simple, yet the impact is so profound it influenced evolution and has shaped life on our planet. All right, that's enough of an intro. Let's hit the ice.
Living on wild and
We all know that water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and that the colder something gets, the more dense it becomes. However, H2O is very unique in its reaction to temperature. Water is at its highest density at 4 degrees Celsius, and as water approaches 0 degrees, it is slightly less dense than the warmer liquid water. And when I say slight, there is at most a 9% difference. It is just enough to make ice buoyant. Water is the only known non-metallic substance that increases in volume in its solid state. But what makes water so unique? Well, it has to do with the H in H2O, its hydrogen bonds. When water is in its liquid state, we can imagine the molecules sloshing all around with little organization, just like what we see with our naked eye. However, once temperatures are cold enough, the molecules lock together, creating a rigid structure. If we took a teeny tiny slice of this structure, so thin that it is only one molecule in thickness, and looked at it under a microscope, it would look like a lattice that we would find in a garden. In this example, the wood of the lattice represents the hydrogen and oxygen, and in between the molecules, open areas of space are formed. Thus, the water is transformed from a chaotic grouping of molecules to an organized state. And due to the added space between the molecules, ice has a slightly lower density compared to its liquid form. This property is incredibly unique. Only a few known substances possess a similar property like this. If water were like almost all other known substances, lakes would freeze from the bottom up, making the entire lake frozen rather than just the surface. And this just isn't limited to lakes. This would affect every water body on Earth, including the ocean. It is likely that if water didn't possess this unique characteristic, life on Earth would be completely different. The complexity of organisms would likely be extremely limited. You and I would likely remain some nematodes hanging out in the tidal pool by the equator. All right. Let's chill out on the theoretical science and go back to some cold hard facts. We've established how ice forms on the surface of water bodies, but how is it possible that ice can support objects many times its own weight? Like some ice road trucker shit. I bet you can see the plot twist coming. It's an accumulation of all the things we've already discussed. Ice is buoyant, so when the weight of an object pushes down on it, the liquid water from underneath pushes back. And the additional hydrogen bonds that occur when water is in its solid state is incredibly strong and robust. We typically think of ice as brittle, as glass, but ice actually has a lot of give. And when a load is placed on an ice sheet, the ice can flex. However, even though H2O possesses many unique properties, it does have limitations. For example, it can flex, but only slightly before the force is high enough to break the hydrogen bonds. The surrounding temperatures and composition of the water are influential factors on the strength of the ice. The water of, say, a lake is not just H2O. It is a mixture of different compounds like various minerals and organic matter. When these different substances freeze in the ice, it influences the bonds and the overall strength of the ice. To get into all the different factors that influences the strength of the ice and some telltale signs that the ice is weak is too much for this video. If you'd like to see an in-depth video on this, please let me know in the comments. For now, just know not all ice is created equal, and always use caution when hitting the icy trail. That's it. So simple, yet incredible. And there are so many things that happen in nature that go unnoticed by us. I love wild science. I'm constantly in awe of nature. Thanks for watching this video. I enjoyed creating it, and if you liked it, give that like button a little tickle. As always, stay safe out there. I have another educational video on the stages of hypothermia. If you haven't watched it, please do. It could literally save a life. Until next time, keep living high, wild, and free.